What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and it is Thursday, February 13th, 2024, year of our Lord. It's a phenomenal day. What up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family? A couple different couple different observations. Hopefully the audio is okay to where y'all can hear me. I actually ordered some equipment, some newer equipment. So every month, what people don't know, maybe the bag chasers know, we do have, you know what? Let me ask this question before I go into my little observations that I've made. Do you guys want to do Block Club this Sunday or do y'all want to do it on like a Monday? And the reason that I asked that is because I know that Valentine's Day is this weekend, which means that a lot of y'all are going to be booed up. Some of y'all are going to be caught up. You're going to be gone and all of that stuff. And so I want to make sure that I give as much value as possible. So do you think that I should do it Sunday or like a Tuesday? Because I could do it Tuesday night. Well, maybe a Wednesday night. Sunday or Wednesday. Y'all let me know Sunday or Wednesday. And the reason that I say that is because, again, I know it's going to be a lot of people that's busy. I'll probably put a poll inside of the Patreon for you guys to observe. I'm thinking that Wednesday is the best day. And the reason that I say Wednesday is the best day is because I don't do any live streaming on Wednesday. And I don't have to worry about anybody trying to adjust for the weekend or all of that other type of stuff, right? So if I do it like a Wednesday at like 8 p.m. like I did the last time, then it'll probably be ideal for most people. Somebody said, what holiday is Monday? Monday is not a holiday. Monday is just Monday. You know what I'm saying? So I'll look at that. I see a lot of y'all are saying Sunday inside of the chat, so I'll pay attention to that. But yeah, just some observations that I was making. The first observation that I made as a result of being here and taking care of business inside of DC, which I think I'm going to be traveling back and forth to DC on a regular basis. I'm not going to go into no details. I don't want to say too much. But I think I'm going to be traveling back and forth to DC on a regular basis. Maybe at least twice a month going forward. But one thing that I realize every single time that I travel alone for business or whatever is that men are very, 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 very simple creatures. Thank you, Latrell. I'm going to acknowledge that shortly. Men are very, very simple creatures. Very simple creatures. Meaning that, when did I travel here? Tuesday? And it's Thursday? All I've been doing is working. And then I go and I'll go down to the gym and work out a little bit, do some cardio and do some lifting. And then after I do some cardio and I lift, and I go and get some water, and then I go and get a little simple meal. I only eat once a day, and I'll be chilling. And then I come back, I work. I'll have to leave out for like 3 hours in order to go take care of some business. You know what I'm saying? Some of the business that I came here for. I come back here, and then I jump back on and I start working again. All I do personally, my goal in life, what I love to do is just work and be productive. The other parts of our lives, we do that for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing that I observed. The second thing that I observed is the Anton Daniels channel is not as I'm not as passionate about it. I love the Anton Daniels channel. It's my OG channel. I'm always gonna put as much work as I possibly can into it. But it's the Millionaire Morning Show and After Hours, the thing that's driving me. It's like the new businesses, the startup. It's not the business that you already built that's already there at over 500,000 subscribers. I think that this is where the play is. After Hours and Millionaire Morning Show is where the play is. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with the other channel. Yeah, those are the main observations. Is that men that are kind of in their own space and their own world, we are very, very simple creatures. We don't ask for a lot. We don't deep dive into a lot. It don't take a lot for us. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I was like that I even need a car. I don't need a car at all. Anywhere I go, I can just drop off and take an Uber, and then I head back in straight to my hotel and just work and grind. So we are very, very simple creatures. It doesn't take a lot for us. We don't even need a lot of clothes. You know what I'm saying? I can have my whole life inside of a suitcase and then my work life inside of a backpack and be sufficient. So I think it's all of the other stuff that we do to satisfy the people that's around us. Our lives are basically slaving for the other people that are around us, whether it be kids, family, friends, relationships. All of those things are just extra for us. Those are not things that's really something that we need to do in order to be satisfied. That's why you see a lot of guys being able to play video games. Like after they get off of work or after they get done doing whatever it is that they do, a lot of guys can get on the game and lose themselves for like hours and hours and hours. And I think that you have to have temperance in everything. And me personally, I would rather spend that time working on work or building businesses or whatever. But you are 100% right, Robert Dalton. We don't even need a lot of money. We don't even need a lot of money. I don't even spend nothing. I don't even spend nothing. We be chilling. If I had to sell everything, right? Not have to sell. But let's just say, for example, for whatever reason, I'm alone or whatever, right? And I say, you know what? I want to sell everything and just be minimalistic and chill. It wouldn't change. Like it wouldn't affect me. If I sold every watch that I had and only wore the Apple Watch, if I had 4 shirts, 3 shirts, 4 collared shirts, 5 t-shirts, a whole lot of drawers, a whole lot of undershirts, and 2 pair of jeans, 3 pair of slacks, a bunch of dress socks. That's it. That's all we need. We don't need a whole lot of stuff. We would be able to thrive off of that. It's all of this other stuff and all of this extra. Now, I will say that I do like cars. I love cars. I love working on them. I love playing with them. I love the flat 6 turbo inline 911. I really love cars. You know what I'm saying? So that's my one habit. Me and my daughter together, we love cars. But outside of that, somebody says sell it all and give it to the poor. Use a lie. You a lie. Who told you that? All right, now you pushing it too far. See, I tried to be nice. I tried to be humble. I tried to chill and say that men are simple creatures. And now you want to tell me sell it all and give it to the poor. You sell it and give it to the poor. The poor people that made bad decisions inside of the United States of America. Most poor people here, not all, but most poor people here, their life is a reflection of the bad decision making. You gonna have to get yourself together. We not doing handouts. Didn't you hear what Trump said? No more diversity, equity, and inclusion. No more handouts. No more social services. You're going to have to get it out the mud on your own. You done pushed it too far. Chrissy going to say, you the one that said that you don't need it. I didn't say that I needed it. I said that I like it. And if I have it, it's still mine. Why would I sell it and give it to the poor instead of putting it in a trust for my daughter, for example? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, sell it and give it to the poor. You sell your stuff and give it to the poor. How about that? Sell your stuff and give it to the poor. Get the piss out of here. What? See, y'all always want to sell all of your stuff, become a monk, renounce America and become poor and meek in spirit. No, you do it. You seen all of these rappers that said that they're going to just give up all of their stuff and they decided that they wanted to just only go to church every day. What do? They come back to it because they ain't got no temperance. They ain't got no balance. You sell your stuff. You sell your stuff first and then you come to me and you tell me how I feel. Telling me to sell my stuff. You sell your stuff. Give it to the poor. Get that. No, they made bad decisions. He a crackhead. So you want me to give all of my money to this crackhead so he can go and get some more crack? I'm not giving my money to the poor so he can go and buy some more crack. He got boxelitis. He broke because he spent all of his money on hoes. You think I'm gonna give all of my money to him so he can spend some more money on hoes? What makes y'all think that the poor people actually have good money management skills? If you give it to an organization, they then pay all of their nonprofit workers and they paying themselves $230,000 a year. They give 5% of what they get in donations over into whatever cause that they say that they for. You give your money to the poor. I'm too smart for that. I ain't mad. I'm passionate, Chrissy. You do it. See, I'm too smart to be finessed by the people, by these feel good liberals, by then saying, "Hey, give your stuff over to them. You give your stuff to the poor." God designed it for me to be the way that I am, and for them to be in the space that they are because they didn't learn the lesson. I've been poor before. I had to learn the lesson, and that's why I'm now in the space that I'm in. You give your stuff up. I'm not giving my stuff up. Now we're going to get started with the show. Now, I knew y'all was going to jump. I came in all nice. Oh, we need to make sure that we take care of business. We need to get on top of it. We need to make sure that we do all of the things that we're supposed to do. And then y'all want to sell everything, give it to the poor. I said I didn't need it. I didn't say it's not mine. It's mine. All right. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to continue to run it up for the bag chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Now, how about that? Let me read some of these cash apps first. Shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude. And Spencer Campbell in the building says, good morning, AD. Have a great show. Thank you, Spencer. I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down. Let me read some of these cash apps, super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with some prayer. Latrell, y'all need prayer. Latrell M, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Top Notch Rocker says Monday is President's Day, AD. Shout out to President's Day. It's the one that first President's Day that I think that we should celebrate. I recommend a golf channel. Anyone doing business should golf. Yeah, but the problem with having a golf channel is I don't spend enough time on a course for me to actually record enough meaningful content. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just put up stuff when I can. I want to have a channel. I want to have a passion channel. You know what I'm saying? Not just dedicated to the things that's meaningful to me from popular culture, like something that I'm really, really intentional about from a passionate perspective. I'll figure it out. Good morning, but I'm not going to start one. I'm not going to do it until I actually figure it out. Good morning, Anton. Stay prayerful. Bishop Cam. Shout out to Bishop Cam Nelson in the building. I appreciate you. Would you ever consider buying a Ford GT? Absolutely. That is one of the cars that's on my list. I got a car on order that I need to order and take care of. Shout out to Manuel EG. I do, but I want the newer ones. I don't need the older ones. I need the newer ones. Showcase Classic says, good day, Anton. Dust mites are out and we are sneezing. We are allergic to the poor state of mind. Talk to him, Showcase Classics. Ain't that the truth, bro? Ain't nobody trying to be out here dusty. I appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with some prayer. Lord, rebuke overgiving. Yeah. Rebuke overgiving. Because sometimes what people don't realize is that when you overgive, you are an enabler. That's why God said, pray for wisdom and understanding. And everything you do, get understanding. Lord, don't bless us to give more than you've designated us to give, because a lot of times we get in your way of what you're dealing with as far as trying to teach people a lesson, and then we insert ourselves and then we circumvent the process. People are in the spaces that they are for a reason. And one thing that I've learned, God, is that we pray for your will to be done, not our will, because your ways are so fast and far in between our ways that sometimes we can get in our own ways. Lord, I've seen people continue to enable bad behavior by thinking that they can save somebody else, and instead of them actually sitting down and in the mud where you designated them to be so that they can learn a lesson and then come out better people as a result of it, what we do is we get in your way. Instead of asking you for guidance, we get in your way so that we then prevent them from becoming the people that they're supposed to. You said, hey, let them suffer for a little bit, let them go through it, they won't die. And we said, no, we don't like that. It makes us feel bad. In order to be selfish and make ourselves feel good, we go ahead and do what we think is going to make sense for them instead of what you said to do. Bless us to listen for your voice and to move accordingly. Lord, give us a discerning ear. Give us a spiritual mind. Give us wisdom. Bless us with understanding, and then bless us with humility for you, not for everybody else. Humility is towards you, not towards everybody else. I love you. I appreciate you. I ask for everything in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Y'all ready to get into the show? Let me read a couple more super chats. Whiskey Pierre Louis says, Anton, morning, sir. Blessing, bag chasers. Let's go. I appreciate you. Fukari Ferry says, good morning, AD. You and your daughter are like me and my dad with cars. I love it. You're an inspiration to do more and be better. Stay blessed. Thank you, Ferry. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get to it. We always got to pray for wisdom. We never want to get in the way of what God wants us to do. All right. Let's get to it. All right. First things first. Let's do that. First things first. All right. I want to revisit a story before we get into the political stuff. Before we start going into what's happening in New York and Pam Bondi and Trump and USAID and Jasmine Crockett and all of that, because we're gonna tackle all of that. We're definitely going to deep dive into everything that is happening, because I got to give you an update. We want to find out where it comes back to the money. Okay. So before we get into that, this was a story that I initially reported on Monday, right? Because to bring you guys up to speed, a mother in Detroit, 2 of her 4 kids froze to death inside of a car that didn't have any heat inside of a casino parking structure. Now, initially, I thought that maybe she had a gambling problem. She left the kids in the car in order to go do her thing, and then that's when it happened. That's not what happened, all right? Had nothing to do with gambling, had nothing to do with any of that. Now, as we continue to see this whole story unfold, there's more to it. So I want to play all of the parts to it, and then we're going to put it together as a puzzle. After that, we go into Trump's press conference yesterday to where he breaks down Ukraine, Russia, and all of that, right? All right. So again, I shared this story on Monday, and I want to start going into exactly what happened as far as all of the parts. Now, when I say exactly what happened in all of the parts, I'm talking about they found the father of the children. They talked to her family, and there was a press conference from Detroit officials that they basically went through when they tried to take responsibility for what happened with the kids, okay? So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to start off with the woman saying and giving her thoughts and a statement of what happened and the fact that she reached out to help or reached out for help. Let's get it.
First breaking news in the sibling tragedy that shook Metro Detroit after 2 kids died of apparent hypothermia in a casino parking garage. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Karoline Clifford.
I'm Simon Shaykat. This story has devastated our area. Just moments ago, 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham talking with the mother of those 2 children.
Darren joining us live right now from Detroit's West Side with more from their conversation. And Darren, so many people talking about this. This is simply heartbreaking.
Very heartbreaking, Karoline, Simon. Moments ago, I did have the opportunity to speak to Tatiana Williams, who lost her 9-year-old and her 2-year-old, also in the vehicle at the time, her 4-year-old and her 8-year-old. Also, Tatiana's mother and her 2 siblings, a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old, also stay in that vehicle. She tells me that she has been homeless for 3 months and that she is trying to do better for herself, trying to get back on her feet. She told me she's a CNA, a medical assistant, and that she was actually about to start a new job tomorrow. And so I did speak with her, and I asked her, one of the questions I did ask her was to take me back to yesterday.
Yesterday, I woke them up to wake them up from school. My son wasn't moving. And I kept saying, Freddie, please get up. Please. Please, for me, just get up. Don't do this to me. And I tried to give him CPR because I'm a CNA and a medical assistant. I've been working there since I was 17. I tried to give him CPR and I was just giving him CPR. I just kept saying, Freddie, don't leave me. Don't leave me, please. I saw the green and brown stuff come out of his mouth. I instantly rushed him to the hospital. I was yelling out the window, stop, stop, stop. We got to get through traffic. My baby, he's dying. We get to the hospital. I told valet, can you go get some help? He took too long, so I got out the car to get help. They came to the car, instantly grabbed my baby on his head, get a stretch. He's not breathing. Help. Cold blue. Everybody tried. I didn't even know my 2-year-old was dying. I was in it with my 9-year-old. And they brought her in right after they pronounced him dead. And my mama came to me, she said, Yaya. That's what we call her, but her name is Amelia. We just call her Yaya. And they said
Yo, let me say this. I know that we a tough group in here. And this segment of the show is not to place blame, but it's really to understand because it already happened. And so if you see this woman's hand shaking, I'll show it. Let me back up for a little.
right after they pronounced him dead.
That's not, you can't fake that, bro. You can't fake that. I mean, you may not see a whole bunch of tears rolling down her face, and I'm not sure if, even if you've seen a bunch of tears rolling down her face, it's not going to make the situation any different, and I don't think that it's going to change your perspective or your perception of her. So let's try to figure it out and put it together, because the goal at this point is trying to prevent this from ever happening again. All right? A lot of these people, honestly, that are having these children, these people don't have the same sense that we do. They are walking around. They think that they're okay. Think about it from this lens. Look at it from this lens. When we grew up in the hood, when we were raised, right? And this was before the social media era. I was blessed enough to be raised without all of the cell phones. It was a luxury. Drug dealers were the only ones that had car phones inside of their car. I was born in 1982. I graduated high school in 2000. I was blessed to be raised in a space to where we existed before pre-social media, right? And the only thing that we knew was what our environment and our culture was. It didn't unlock for me until my father actually sent me to private school during middle school, that I realized that the world was much bigger than Cedar Point, because that was really the only place that I had ever traveled to outside of Dawson, Georgia, when I was younger, to actually go and see people that came before me and my family, you know, my great grandfather and all of that other type of stuff, because they were still living in Dawson, Georgia. But largely the hood was the only thing that I knew. You know, the world was only as big as 6 Mile to 8 Mile, Livernois to Wyoming, hooping every day. And so what we thought was normal, what I thought was success, was nothing like what I experienced today. And so a lot of these people, it's normal to have children out of wedlock. It's normal to not have nothing. If you was having a house, what we thought was a big house, when I go back and drive in the hood and I see a house and I'm like, man, that house is so small. How do we even live there? How are we? So you have to try to look at it from a different lens than just always putting blame and responsibility, because they may be wrong, but in their mind, they right. They may be wrong, but in their mind, they're right. And so her lens of looking at things may be completely different than how we see it. Doesn't make it right from a cultural or societal perspective. However, I don't think that killing her in this moment won't bring the children back.
And my mama came to me, she said, Yaya. That's what we call her, but her name is Amelia. We just call her Yaya. And they said she wasn't breathing. And they pronounced her dead too. I asked everybody for help. I called out of state. I called cities I didn't know. I called cities people asked me to call. I even asked Detroit. I've been on cam list for the longest. Everybody now wants to help. After I lost 2 kids, I've been asked for help. I feel like it wasn't their time. I did everything I was supposed to do. They had everything. Everything.
Y'all said why? Somebody saying, Anton, why was she at the casino? That's the question. It's a parking structure. She wasn't at the casino itself. It was a free parking structure. Especially when you're in the city and you're downtown, it's not a lot of places that you can actually park your car without getting towed. So a lot of people actually park at the casino if they got an electric car to charge their car. A lot of people park there overnight because they know that they're not going to get bothered on the street. It's a lot of police presence in the area, so you're less likely to, have any kind of problems with anybody as far as like trying to do crime and stuff like that. So it could be a multitude of reasons why you parked in that particular parking structure. It's no rhyme or reason why she parked in the casino parking structure. It was downtown in Greektown, Hollywood Casino, which used to be called Greektown Casino in Detroit.
They wanted. Only thing I didn't have was a house. But from electronics to clothes, anything they asked me for, my kids didn't even get whooped. I lost the one who made me a mother. I lost a 2-year-old. It hurt losing 2 kids in one night. You know, I don't wish this on nobody. And if you can get help, please go get help. Because I don't want nobody else to go through what I'm feeling. Just wherever you can get help from. If it's not from the city, the state, no other city or state, just go. Like, you don't have to suffer.
A lot of people, I see you, Fa Brown. Fa Brown says it's her fault. 2, she had more than 2 kids. She had 5 kids, 4 or 5 kids or whatever like that. Is that the only conversation that we can have? I don't think it goes without saying, when I did this initial story on Monday, we already assigned blame. It's always going to be the parents' fault that whatever the kids suffer through. Nobody can dispute that. How many times do we beat a dead horse? I'm the type of person, after I hold you accountable, I want to actually find a solution to where we can prevent this from happening again. If it's not solutions based, if the only thing that we do is continue to assign blame, then I think that we do ourselves a disservice as a culture and as a society. You know, I'm going to go over to the next portion of this story. when I see y'all say some of the stuff that y'all say in the chat, I have to wonder if we become so desensitized and mean as a society to where the only thing that we can say is call people names and stuff like that. I don't think that she's a demon. I think that she's impoverished. I think that she's irresponsible. I think that she actually did like her kids and love her kids. And I think that she's ignorant. And I think that she is misguided, but it doesn't absolve her from being responsible. But I don't think that she's a demon. Let's pivot. I want to go over to the father, and I want to talk about what it is that he had to say about this situation. Because there's multiple layers to the story. And so if we're going to have a conversation, we have to have a conversation across the board. So the father did pop up, and the father, I guess they found it, and I haven't even seen this yet. So I definitely want to review it with you guys also. But the father did pop up. They found the father, and this is what he had to say.
After learning 2 of his kids died from exposure to the cold in a casino parking lot.
Yesterday, 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham spoke to the mother of those 2 kids about the tragic situation.
Yesterday, I woke them up to wake them up from school.
We got this part.
And I
Senior, wipe the
Learned 2 tonight. Darren is getting the father's side.
please.
Well, tonight, Darren is getting the father's side of this story, hearing about the moment he learned 2 of his children had passed away.
Darnell Curry Sr. wiped away tears while talking with me about his children, Darnell Jr. and Amelia, and the distressing phone call he says he took from their mother, Tatiana Williams, on Monday.
I went to the gym. As soon as I got on the treadmill, she called saying, can I make it to the hospital right now? They gone. I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't.
According to Detroit police, 9-year-old Darnell Jr. and 2-year-old Amelia died while sleeping in a vehicle at the Hollywood Casino at Greektown parking garage. Investigators say the cause appears to be hypothermia, a tragedy stemming from homelessness.
I tried. I asked for help. I asked everybody, even people out of state. But I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me. You know, people just didn't like too many kids at their house.
I spoke with the children's mother Tuesday evening. She told me she's been living in her vehicle for 3 months, along with her 4 kids, her mother, and 2 teenage siblings. She says she reached out to Curry, who's the father of 3 of her children.
I asked him, I said, can you get your kids for me? I said, I need help. You know I'm homeless. I done kept a room this long. I couldn't keep it no more.
they were homeless. Had Tatiana ever reached out asking to?
No, she did not. All she said was, can I get them? Can I get them just to get them? And can I get them because y'all homeless? That's 2 different things.
No. Okay, see? And that's why I want to get the whole story before I start calling people demons. That's why I want to get the whole story, because see, now y'all can't start to just assign blame to the mother because she's reached out for help. It's been confirmed by the city of Detroit that not only did she reach out to the city, she reached out to state agencies. She reached out to out-of-state agencies. She reached out to the father of the child, and she said, listen, I'm homeless. I can't do it the way that I'm doing it, and I need you to help me to take care of these kids. If you can get these kids, even if he got them temporarily until she got back on her feet. See, y'all want to sit there and say, well, because you know me, I'm an equal accountability partner, and so I don't have no bias at all. Y'all want to sit there and say, well, where's her tears? This dude is standing there like it ain't even no big deal. He's standing there like it's a relief. He's standing there like it's a relief. Okay, so if she reached out to help from everybody, because he just confirmed that she reached out. And he's saying, well, if she reached out for the kids or she reached out because she's homeless, it's 2 different things. Nigga, what you mean it's 2 different things? About a week and a half ago, we had a live stream on After Hours. And on After Hours, I said, because we were talking about Tia Mowry, right? And everybody in the chat was against me and Carrie because this wasn't even a couple weeks ago. I think it was more than a couple weeks ago. Everybody in the chat was against me and Carrie because I said that regardless of what Tia Mowry's behavior was, I am all for keeping the family together. So I am always going to caution on the side of what's best for the children instead of always focusing 100% on holding somebody else accountable, because it doesn't change the outcome of the thing that's the most meaningful to me, and it's the children. Everybody was against me, but you know me, I don't care. I'm gonna stand on business based off of what I believe. When I said that I think that it was more important to first err on the side of what's best for the children, I seen a bunch of guys in the chat that said to me, no, hold her accountable. It doesn't matter. You can go and create a new family. Go and do this, go and do that. And it kind of broke my heart because it kind of showcases the mindset and the mentality of people that have actually gone through issues and problems with the mother of their children. And then that then is extended across the board towards every other situation. That's how they view life. She reached out to the child's father. So I want y'all to have the same energy for the father as you do for the mother. It wasn't like he didn't know. It wasn't like he wasn't aware. It wasn't like she didn't actually call him. Because you can hold her accountable for the negligence of the child, but at the same time, do you got that same energy? Do you got that same energy for the father? An equal accountability smoke giver or equal accountability partner means that we don't operate in bias. We got to hold everybody to the same standards. He's sitting there like it ain't a big deal with a Nike fleece on, got all of the clothing on in the world. He laid there and put a baby in her. This dude is hanging out at the gym, but you can't put no effort into most guys that I know want their kids. They fight for their kids. It's the family court system that then prevents them from being able to get their kids. That's why I say that we got to update the family court laws. He didn't want his kids based off of what I see right now.
She said she had been homeless for 3 months.
That's what I saw, about 3 months, but she ain't never said nothing to me. Nothing. So all them other sob stories, they can cut all that. No, she did not.
Curry, who lives in Novi, says Williams never.
Now, listen, I want y'all to hear something again.
But she did not.
Curry, who lives in Novi.
He lives in Novi. Now, for everybody here that is from Michigan, that is from Metro Detroit, everybody here that is from Michigan, that is from Metro Detroit, she was in an inner city. He was in Novi. He lives in Novi. Novi is a very, very wealthy suburb. It is a well put together place. It is not a dusty place at all. Some of you guys may not be familiar with the areas, but Detroit, like every other city, has suburbs that is surrounding it, and we call it Metro Detroit. Novi, West Bloomfield. Novi literally is almost directly connected and next to West Bloomfield. I have a home inside of West Bloomfield. Novi is a very nice place. You're telling me that you stay in Novi, Michigan, gorgeous area, massive houses, very, very big houses over in Novi. And I'm not saying that you live in a big house, but what I am telling you is that you doing okay if you in Novi. Your kids asleep in a parking structure in Detroit. The context matters. This is why I'm not quick to judge. Holding somebody accountable and judging them is two different things. We all need to judge, but we got to wait till we get all of the information before we start to get into that.
Says Williams never specified why she wanted to drop their kids off to him.
She just asked, can I get them for a couple of days? But I told her I'm working and all that, and I'm out here. We're not close to each other, so I couldn't. But she knows all my family is right around the corner from her.
Dog, it hit different now. He would be better off not even getting on camera. Him jumping on here was probably the worst thing that I could ever hear. She said, hey, can you get the kids for a while? Can you get them for a couple of days or whatever? She said that she was about to start a new job and all of this stuff. And he told her no. He told her no. He told her no. He told her no. She reached out for help. You can't say that she lying. He just substantiated exactly what she said that she did. He told her no. He said, I'm out here. He got the Nike fleece on, nicely new braided, nice coat, all of that. She reached out. He told her no. The negligence needs to be extended across the board. She probably put him out and he stayed with family. Look at you. Y'all make any excuse. Y'all make any excuse. We're going to get to the super chat shortly. He told her no.
Did she reach out to any of your family?
No, she did not. And she knows she could have, like we always used to do.
He says the last time he held his children was a month or two ago, and that they typically FaceTime. Moments he will miss. And there's a, police investigation into this. What is it you would like to see come of this? Obviously, nothing's going to bring back your 9-year-old and your 2-year-old.
It doesn't even matter to me. Can't get them back, so it's whatever.
Darren Cunningham, 7 News.
All right. So, y'all ready to move over to the next part of the story? Family is speaking on it too. No. Y'all wanted to have this conversation. Let's have it all. Let's get all the way to it. Let's get to the cousins. Let's get to the father. Let's get to the family members. Let's get to everybody. Let's get to everybody. I'm with it. Y'all with it? Y'all ready? Let's get to it.
My cousin made a mistake, and look at how the world is judging her.
The cousin of the mother who took her 5 children and their grandmother to the 9th parking lot level of the Hollywood Casino early Monday morning. And when the gas ran out of their car, so did the heat. And 2 of her kids, a 9-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl, froze to death.
She asked for help. She asked the right people. She was scared of what the world would think of her, so she did privately the right thing. She asked the city, and what they do, they told her they couldn't help her.
And the mayor acknowledged that because of this incident, he is asking the deputy mayor, as well as the housing director, to review this situation and then come back with policies to help those who need housing.
If during the day you are in danger of homelessness, you call the hotline. It's spelled in well-publicized 866-313-2520. But if it's after 6 o'clock at night and an incident's happened, you've been pushed out of the house, you're in an emergency situation, go to your police precinct.
So now her family is placing blame on everybody else, saying that, oh, she asked for help. She did this. Man, listen, bro. Listen, man. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. This is such a tragedy. This is very much a tragedy. This is unfortunate. I don't like this story. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot of times. How irresponsible people are. It bothers me also when you guys sometimes don't have any compassion in you whatsoever. I don't know if you guys are so used to watching commando movies that you think that this is not real life, but it is real life, and it is unfortunate. And I do wish that we look at things a little bit differently, and we are a little bit more compassionate. 2 things can be true at the same time. My favorite saying in the world is 2 things can be true at the same time. And the things that can be true in this situation is you can both hold her accountable and say that it's her fault, but at the same time, we need to be open-minded to who we really extending blame to. That's my thoughts on it anyways. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. This is a very controversial subject, and I think that we got to tackle it with care. This is not something that's just cut and dry. It's not something that's just, open and closed case. I think that we got to look at all of the factors. I hold everybody accountable. Dre with the text says, why my wife's family pastor sending out group texts to the members about following Al Sharpton DEI boycott? On my wife's family pastor sending out group texts to the members. They only react emotionally as a whole rather than logically for the best future of our youth. All right, Dre, let me say this. Ain't no group text. And you can't have my wife's number. Text messages come to me. Y'all gonna have to start setting healthy boundaries. Y'all gotta start setting healthy boundaries. And one of the healthy boundaries that you can set is any text messages come through me as far as through me. And I don't care if you're a pastor or not, everything come through me, unless you're a family member, like unless you were like a brother or a sister or something like that, all of that stuff, it come through me. And then usually all of the other stuff, like through the women or business or whatever, it can go through her. What you mean? Well, let me be quiet. Anyways, I don't even care about Al Sharpton. I'm caring about the way that y'all go about doing business. No shelter will turn down homeless children. This was irresponsible on her part. Nature has punished her enough, though I don't think she needs jail. Nah, she's not going through jail. She's not going through jail. And I don't think she deserved to go to jail either. We must listen and not judge. Shout out to EMC, Real Stuff TV. I appreciate you. Mopal89 says the feeling is numb. I feel sorry for her, but at the same time, I don't. Pray for that woman. Everyone needs to take an IQ test, a financial literacy test, and pass before being permitted to birth children. Ashley Patterson says, good morning, Fave. Good morning, Ashley. What's up, baby? Said, good morning. People have become so insensitive. Yes, this could have been prevented. I can tell this subject really bothered you. Praying for the mom and her kids. It's very bothersome. I see a whole lot of whining, but where the tears at? None of y'all need to have kids, bro. Honestly, I believe her that happens even in Illinois. It happened all over the country. Adonis 1909 says the father was gutless, but the other part of this is migrants were getting plenty of free hotels while a woman with her kids, a citizen, gets no help. That is a fact. And I highlighted that yesterday on the Anton Daniels channel. C.L. Jacob says Ecclesiastes 26 and 23, King James Version, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Self-Made Forever says you can fake handshaking and tears when you're facing prison time. Killers plead insanity in court all the time. Can we get a petition to kick Quentin, sassy, disrespectful self, off after hours? No, Quentin can never be kicked off of after hours. If Quentin wasn't there, then y'all will be complaining that Quentin wasn't there. As a matter of fact, this is a subject that I'm going to broach. I'm going to make this a part of after hours tonight. We're going to have this conversation. Chris Cunningham said he's a POS 3 months and you ain't get him. No Lames TV says she probably put him out and he stay with family. Coach Tiffin says, I'm glad you're not as heartless as these people in the chat, Anton. I hope you all stay up. Shout out to Coach Tiff. I love you, baby. Mo Paul says, L on a baby daddy too. He for creating this mess. Cynthia Haynes says, bro, Anton, I admire and appreciate your consideration, honestly, and wisdom. My Detroit family, who I love dearly. Let's support our Black mothers. I will be closely watching her case. GR's Infantry says, I suffered after infidelity from ex trying to keep the family together. However, any decent man, father will do whatever to ensure children's safety. No excuse. Never will I. Shout out to GR's Infantry. Brandon, of course it's a case-by-case basis. This story breaks my heart, says Brandon Nicholson. Self-Made Forever says she should have closed her legs. Charge her with life in prison. Stop the excuse. Stop with the excuses. She caused those kids to die, and she is putting on an act. Interesting. I'm just going to read the super chats. I'm not going to react to them. Mark the Guardian says, where's the Black church helping the community? The Run says, so $700 a night for illegals because the government wants to do the right thing and not look bad, but this citizen reached out to her government and they look the other way. It's a shame. He ain't ish either. AD about to be the head of DOR, Department of Relationship Efficiency. I like that. You got my vote, big dog. Shout out to Asset Money Reese. I appreciate you and everybody, whether I agree with you or disagree with you. This is not an echo chamber. This will never be an echo chamber, so I don't want to exist in a space where people should not have their freedom to say what they want to say as long as it's not wildly disrespectful. We embrace all conversations here. All right? Now, let's move over. I will continue to read Cash Apps and Super Chats throughout the show. Trump did a media, and he's basically vlogging every day at this point. Trump is vlogging every day at this point. He basically did, or he's basically doing media to where he's allowing for the media to be able to ask him any questions that they want to ask him. And right now, he's also talking about not only efficiency within the government and all of the waste that's happening, but possibly ending the Russian-Ukraine war. Check it out.
Wants peace, and President Zelensky wants peace, and I want peace. I just want to see people stop getting killed. We're very far away from that particular war, but that's a vicious war. Probably 1.5 million soldiers killed in a short period of time. I've never seen anything. I have pictures that are, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what you have to look at. Young, beautiful soldiers that are just being decimated. And it would be nice to end it immediately. But we had a very good talk with, people didn't really know what President Putin's thoughts were, but I think I can say with great confidence he wants to see it ended also. That's good. And we're going to work toward getting it ended and as fast as possible. It's a horrible situation going over. It's flat land, and the bullet goes off, and the only thing it can hit is a body, a human body, a young human body. And they're losing just tremendous numbers of mostly soldiers. The cities and towns have been largely demolished. It's a shame what's happened to that country. It would have never happened if I were president. That I can tell you. Would have never happened. It's to look at that. And October 7th would have never happened either, by the way, Middle East. But we'll get it. I think we'll get it. We'll get something done. We're going to be meeting actually tomorrow. They're meeting in Munich, as you know, and we're going to have some other meetings. And I'll be dealing with President Putin largely on the phone, and we ultimately expect to meet. In fact, we expect that he'll come here, and I'll go there, and we're going to meet also probably in Saudi Arabia. The first time we'll meet in Saudi Arabia, see if we can get something done. But we want to end that war. That war is a disaster. It's a really bloody, horrible war.
Somebody said it in the chat, and I agree. And they said, we never seen Biden as much as we seen Trump. Not even a little bit. I think that we've seen more of Trump than we've ever seen in Biden. It almost feels like Trump has been president for a year, but I got news for you. He's only been president for 3 weeks. 3.5 weeks. Monday, February 20th, which is next week, will officially be 1 month that Trump has been president. But he has only been president for a little over 3.5 weeks. And who wouldn't want peace? This is the way, listen, if you really want to fix the world, then you got to cut off the spigot for how we continue to fund these wars. I believe that it's a money play that the Democrats, who are warmongers, have been wanting to go to war for the longest. For our commander-in-chief, who at the time was Biden, and Kamala Harris, to admit that they have never, ever, ever even spoken to Putin, while at the same time continuing to contribute billions and hundreds of billions of dollars towards the war machine, is insane. It is 100% insane. I believe that everybody is pissed at Trump because Trump is basically ending all of the funding that is going into everybody's pockets, the weapons manufacturers, the contractors. The war machine is being cut off, and world peace is not profitable. It may be profitable to the taxpayers. It may be profitable to the nation. It may be profitable to, our pocketbooks, and that it lowers inflation and so on and so forth. But peace Why would anybody want peace when they can make a whole lot of money off of war? There's probably 2,000 different ways in which people are profitable off of the death of these soldiers. Those 1.5 million soldiers, they may have died for the war machine, but they certainly are going to put money in people's pockets. Ain't that crazy that millions of people can die so that a few can get? This is the true systematic oppression, is that your life is worth X and it will cost this many lives in order to continue to profit you, because the cost of a bullet is what is worth way more than the cost of your life. Insane. But we don't see Democrats saying, hey, and we haven't seen it over the last 4 years, we need to stop the war. We need to stop Ukraine funding. They'll fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs being funded by USAID, but they will not stop. They will not fight to stop Ukraine. As a matter of fact, they were fighting for Ukraine. We're going to review some of what Jasmine Crockett has to say, because she's the new liberal mouthpiece. She's the new liberal mouthpiece. It's funny. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all a story, and then we're going to get back to Trump. I have a sister-in-law, but my sister. Love her to death. Love her to death. One of my favorite people on the face of this earth. She is an ardent, and when I say ardent, she is a hard-nosed liberal Democrat. It is insane. People that don't know that she's my sister is sending me her content because she is now starting to make waves as a content creator, and she's starting to get a lot more visibility in her liberal views. I won't even review the video because a lot of people don't even know that she's my sister. She's my brother's wife. And she very much reflects the same mentality as the people that I say on a regular basis. It's crazy. Y'all know how I be calling my mom, and my mom be like, Anton, you're this and you're that, or whatever, so on and so forth. You're crazy. I don't know why you understand, and you keep supporting Trump and all of this stuff. My sister, hard nose. I got family problems, y'all. I got family problems. I have family problems. Oh, I got family problems. I do. I come across her content, I'll be like, oh, Jesus Christ. I just keep on scrolling. I don't even look at what she say no more. I just keep on scrolling. And my brother think the same way, but she the mouthpiece. We'll get to that later. Let's get back to Trump, y'all.
Arabia, the first meeting will happen.
I think so. We think we're going to probably meet in Saudi Arabia the first meeting.
I don't need y'all in her chat. No, I got enough headache as it is. I'm trying to do what Trump do and solve for the problems behind the scenes. Hey, girl, you're going to have to be quiet. You're going to have to do this. Hey, what is you doing? Get off the internet. Trying to solve for this problem as diplomatically as I can, guys.
Hasn't been set, but not too distant future.
Did you also be part of that meeting?
We both understand, we know the Crown Prince, and I think it'd be a very good place to meet.
So it sounds like that would just be a meeting between you and Putin and perhaps the Crown Prince, but not President Zelensky.
Probably we'll have a first meeting, and then we'll see what we can do about the second meeting.
Also commit to go to Ukraine?
What about Ukraine?
Did you commit to go to Ukraine?
No, I haven't. I haven't committed to go to Ukraine. I would think about going. I'd think about it. No problem.
Say today, Mr. President, that if they receive your vision, what is your plan to end this war? Like today, Secretary.
Well, I'm not going to tell you my plan. I can just tell you we've made a lot of progress. This should have been done by Biden, not by me, because this has been going on for now a long time, years.
Facts.
And it should have been done by Biden. Just like the young gentleman that I brought home yesterday after 2 weeks. We worked on it for 2 weeks.
Right, Tisha. You're 100% right.
A fine man. And he was in there for 3.5, almost 4 years. and they weren't able to do a thing, and I got them out. And as you know, I didn't pay $6 billion. I didn't pay anything. We did a trade, and we did a good job. We got them out in 2 weeks. It should have been out years ago.
Trump already bringing people home. See, they didn't highlight that. Remember when they was bringing home Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan and all of that, and they gave up everything, including the Russian merchant of death? Trump is already bringing people home from all over the world, and he gets no visibility. He gets no credit. The View don't talk about it. Jasmine Crockett don't talk about it. D.O. Hughley don't talk about it. We have largely not seen from who was the dude that just had 2 kids? The bad father. What's his name? Ricky Smiley, the one that was trying to hold Brian McKnight accountable, but just had 2 kids out of wedlock, and he is new step-baby daddy. And now he's trying to spin it and make it seem like God has gave me a replacement for the thing that I suffered from. Him. We don't hear nobody talking about all of the people that Trump is bringing home, all of the Americans that Trump is bringing home. You know why? Because they don't really care about America. They care about hating Trump. These people is ops, and they cloak their love for America through some of the dumbest things that we've seen happen in society. But they're not really happy that these people is home. They don't even know their name. They never even paid attention to the press conferences. None of that. Gets no visibility whatsoever. Legacy media ain't covering it. Nothing.
It really should have been out years ago.
Do you oppose NATO membership for Ukraine?
I don't think it's practical to have it personally. I know that a new Secretary of Defense, who's excellent, Pete, made a statement today saying that he thinks it's unlikely or impractical. I think probably that's true. I think long before President Putin, they said there's no way they'd allow that. This has been going on for many, many years. They've been saying that for a long time, that Ukraine cannot go into NATO.
No, Jess is not my sister-in-law. Listen, everybody with the last name Daniels is not related to me, all right? No, she's not. But she's a cool person to come on the panels.
And I'm okay with that. I just want the war, whether they are or they're not. But it certainly would seem to be that most people have said that is something that's not going to happen.
Are you freezing out President Zelensky of this process a bit? Isn't there a danger of that?
No, I don't think so. As long as he's there, but at some point you're going to have elections too. You're going to have an election.
He says he wants security assurances, Mr. President. What does that look like?
In terms of what?
If the war were to end, he says he wants guarantees of security.
We'll see what that means. I think when the war ends, one thing he was very strong about, if it ends, he wants it to end. And that's President Putin said that. He wants it to end. He doesn't want to end it and then go back to fighting 6 months later. We talked about the possibility, I mentioned it, of a ceasefire so we can stop the killing. And I think we'll probably end up at some point getting a ceasefire in the not too distant future.
Do you expect Ukraine?
Say it, what?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace. I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
Why did you decide to provide support to Ukraine?
Would you support Zelensky ceding territory or exchanging territory in any agreement to end the war?
Well, he's going to have to do what he has to do, but, his poll numbers aren't particularly great, to put it mildly. He's got a country where, it's been savaged and attacked. And he's got an army that's been very, very brave, actually, despite the fact that, we've given him, in my opinion, $350 billion. That's what the real number is. You don't hear that number. And Europe has given, in my opinion, $100 billion. And they've done it in the form of a loan. And I have a Secretary of Treasury right now who's actually quite brave. He's over in Ukraine on a train. And there's a lot of things happening around that train that aren't so good. And he's going there to get a document done where we're going to be assured that we're going to, in some form, get this money back, because we're putting up far more money than Europe, and Europe is in far more danger than we are. We have an ocean in between. Europe has nothing in between. They have in between, they have Ukraine in between. So wait a minute. So as you know, Europe is putting up money and they're getting it in the form of a loan. And the United States under Biden didn't do loans. They just handed money every time somebody walked in from Ukraine. They just handed them money foolishly. This should have never happened. It should have never started. And once it did, other things should have happened. Other things should have taken place. So
Shut up, media, so we can get his full statement. Jesus.
Getting security on our money. We're going to have it secured by, they have rare earth, and they have oil and gas, and they have a lot of other things. And we're asking for security on our money.
So does it mean
Yo, you know why I gotta respect Trump? You know why I gotta respect Trump? Is because we're so used of all of this underhanded dealing. And when we said that, oh man, it's a war over in, or it's a terrorist attack here, or we're gonna invade Iraq and all of this stuff, when we was really going there for oil, or we were really going there for resources and stuff like that. The reason why I respect Trump is because he is going to be honest and transparent, and he didn't even have to be asked the question before he told the truth. He was just transparent. He said, listen, man, Biden and them, they gave him a whole lot of money. Technically, they say that they gave him $350 billion. I think that they gave him way more than that. He said, listen, bro, you got to pay us back. Well, oh, you thought that just because Biden gave you a bunch of money, y'all got oil, y'all got rare earth minerals. If you want me to solve, that's one of the reasons why I don't think that I don't think that they've actually came to a conclusion of how to end this war yet, because I don't think that the USA is getting paid. I believe that the Biden administration let the war go on so that they can profit from it. Now, I don't know who profit from it. Trump, obviously, and later on in this press conference went into kickbacks and all of this other type of stuff, right? There's a lot of people that probably got a lot of money out of it. But the reality of it is Biden went in there and they were warmongers. Trump is going in there and he said, listen, we want our money back. United States of America want their money back on all fronts. We are not taking no shorts, no pay cuts, no concessions, no nothing. We want everything. We want your rare earth minerals. We want your oil. We want everything. So now, and again, this is the reason why we cover this stuff on the Millionaire Morning Show, because everything comes back to the money. There's nothing that does not come back to the money. Everything comes back to the money. And I respect the fact that he's transparent about it, and he's not trying to hide it. He's being absolutely real about the fact that, listen, bro, we're not just going to give you no $500 billion and you think that that's just going to be the end of the conversation. No, we're going to get all the way to it, and we want to guarantee it. For whatever reason, y'all thought that that was going to be the end of the conversation. It's not. We want our money, and I respect it. Y'all got to respect the transparency at the very least. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over to Karoline, my girlfriend, and DOGE, and also the New York judge that blocked DOGE at the Treasury being held accountable. And then we're going to go over to Pam Bondi in New York, and we're going to go into that lawsuit and everything like that. But let me read these super chats and cash apps. DJ B Fit in the building says both of them are a piece of ish. If she can't find no one to help her, says a lot about her. Interesting. And she's a piece of ish. Okay. Get that bird pregnant and at least help find your kids shelter. I always wonder why when we do finally find out the father, and we find out that the father ain't ish, that all of the hate and the vitriol goes straight to the mother. But he had 2 kids with her at least. Interesting. I'm going to just read the super chats. Ashley Williams is in the building. I appreciate you. Mr. Joe says, I'm in the same boat, Anton. I was arguing with my sister on why men shouldn't be in women's bathrooms. Showcase Classic says, my brothers think the same way, but she's the mouthpiece. We'll get to that later. As Wild Anton deep dive into family politics. I'm here for it. Oh, man, I don't want to. The dumbest questions come from network reporters. Aaron L. says $350 billion is crazy work. Hunter and Biden's cabinet was pardoned for a reason. Coke and guns was not the only thing he was doing. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Y'all ready to get into the next portion of the show? Let's do it. More spending cuts at, via DOGE, because they basically do a report every single day and they break down exactly what they're doing from the most transparent administration in history. And then the judge blocking DOGE. Let's deep dive into it, y'all.
JJ. On DOGE and the fraud claims, Elon Musk in the Oval yesterday gave us some information on that. We're just wondering if there's some proof, evidence. Is the White House willing to share evidence of those fraud claims, or can Elon Musk come to the briefing room and share material evidence of what he's talking about?
Sure. I would love for Elon Musk to come to the briefing room. That's why we had him go to the Oval Office yesterday, where I think he provided great answers. He was speaking in layman's terms, speaking common sense to all of you in the media, but also to Americans at home. But I would say especially to all of you in the media, because I think it's a real fallacy that there's this alleged lack of transparency when it comes to DOGE. President Trump and Elon Musk have been incredibly transparent on what DOGE is doing. There is an X account with the DOGE handle. They are tweeting out what they are doing on a daily basis. They have a website where they are posting the receipts of the contracts that they are reviewing and the payments that they have stopped from going out the door. The secretaries of our departments have stopped from going out the door. And I would also say that before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing. So there's great transparency. As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them. And I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOGE found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract.
What? Wait. Okay, so we basically been missing out on money. This is really what it's coming down to. We've been missing out on money. No wonder all of these government contract hustlers and the people that's been teaching these courses on government contracts have been getting all of this money and buying all of these big cars and stuff like that. So the real finesse over the last 4 years is basically labeling yourself diversity, equity, and inclusion, putting together a proposal, and then ultimately getting the contracts to do nothing. Anything that you labeled inclusion, diversity, equity, and put it all out there, you can get 3.6 M's, you can get 36,000, you can get 4 million, you can get 10 million. You can get $1 billion contract. What? Oh, man. Adrian Johnson, I feel you, bro. Or Adrian Jordan. I feel you, big dog. I feel you. The real hustle and the real finesse has been government contracts. It's going to be a lot of broke people. It's going to be a lot of broke people.
Contract that DOGE identified. I can continue to go through these. Oh, I love this one. $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Absolutely nothing. These are the line items across the federal government that DOGE is identifying daily. They're moving very fast. There's a lot of paper that we can show you, but we're happy to do it. This administration has been more than transparent about what DOGE is doing. And here's one of their tweets that they posted about the mine. I believe this is in Pennsylvania, where the federal employee retirement system is being processed. Did anybody know this this was even happening in our country before Elon Musk talked about it in the Oval Office yesterday, a lot of Americans didn't. So we are providing transparency and accessibility on a daily basis when it comes to DOGE. And I also have a DOGE daily report, if anybody would like it, on all of the things that they are identifying and finding. We're happy to provide this information to you. We're talking about it every single day.
Are all those things you just mentioned fraud, or are they waste, or are they just contrary to the president's policies?
I would argue that all of these things are fraudulent, they are wasteful, and they are an abuse of the American taxpayer's dollar. This is not what the government should be spending money on. It's contrary to the president's priorities and agenda. And again, we can continue to provide you the receipts for all of the fraud, waste, and abuse. And if anybody in here wants to argue that the federal government is not fraudulent in some capacity, be my guest, because I think the American people watching at home would beg to differ.
Some people ask the question, and I like to reemphasize this on a regular basis. A lot of people ask the question, and I want to answer the question again for the 14th time. They say, why is Elon Musk so interested in auditing the federal government? Because he doesn't need any more money. His father recently did an interview where he said that if SpaceX ever went public, it's probably a well over $1 trillion company. And it's not even about money at this point. Elon Musk, again, in 2021 alone, paid roughly, according to reports, over $11 billion personal taxes. This ain't have nothing to do with corporate taxes, business taxes, anything like that. Over $11 billion in taxes in 1 year. In 1 year. Why wouldn't you want to know exactly how the federal government is using your money? And please don't sit here and tell me, oh man, I wouldn't care, once it gets out of my hands. Dog, you be checking your chick. You be checking your chick on when you give her $100 or $200 or $300 to go to the store and get some groceries. You be trying to check to see if she had any extra money. Oh yes. I know. I'm familiar with how y'all moving because I done did too many coaching calls for too many years, for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And y'all want to know every dime that y'all chick is spending. You'll go out and buy a new PS5. And then you want to know every dime where nope. You want to know where every dollar is going. If you give your chick a couple dollars. Now, when you first met her and you was tricking off on her and flying her in and all of this stuff, you was acting like money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing. Now you want to check every single crevice. Did you buy some new shoes? You check your chick. The government is our chick. You know why? Because they take our money without us even having a choice of whether or not we want to pay property taxes, whether or not we want to pay income taxes, whether or not we want to pay payroll taxes. We are taxed out of our earlobes. Why wouldn't I want to know if they're using our money efficiently? Because one of the ways in which we then experience inflation, meaning that the value of our dollars continue to go down, is based off of the idea that the government is being wasteful and they continue to print more money instead of managing the budget more effectively. I don't want to hear it.
Fields, I now recognize myself for closing remarks. President Trump was elected with a mandate to rein in unaccountable bureaucracy.
The only way. No, I do believe that a flat tax is more fair, but we also need to hold our government accountable for how they are using our tax dollars. Two things. Both things have to be true at the same time, bro. Both have to be true at the same time.
In Washington and to wage war on waste. I know that because I campaigned alongside him and so did my colleagues. This hearing was the first battle of that war. And in the coming days, the subcommittee will release a report with legislative solutions to the problems.
Somebody said a flat tax of 25% all across the board. You's a lie and the devil ain't in you. No way. I think a 10% flat tax across the board is fair. If you're asking me for a number, I'm going to tell you 10%. 10% is the number. That's the number that I think that we should rock with, and that's what I'm rolling with. I believe that 10% tax for all Americans is reasonable right now. Ain't no way in hell you ever gonna get me to agree to 25%. Nope. I think that 10% flat across the board should be the number. Somebody said, God ain't even asking for 25%. 10% across the board is what I'm rolling with, fam.
We have identified here today. We aren't going to wait all the way until the end of
No,
this
not
Congress.
15,
We're going
10.
to get to work immediately. The bureaucrats who have run Washington for decades are beyond the point of forgiveness. Their sheer incompetence and pure spite for the hardworking American people have resulted in total failure. The federal government has made over $2.7 trillion in improper payments since 2003, including $236 billion in 2023 alone. Those are trillions of dollars that honest Americans have paid in taxes at gunpoint over the years. As we approach April 15th, Americans are once again preparing to do their taxes and fork over their unfair share of money it takes to run this country. And I have to tell you, the American people have not been getting their money's worth for a long time.
Facts.
Most improper payments in recent years were issued through 5 programs: Medicare, Medicaid, the Earned Income Tax Credit, Pandemic Unemployment Insurance, and the Paycheck Protection Program. But a total of 16 federal programs had improper payment rates of 10% or more in 2023. That includes SNAP, the federal food stamp program, which paid out 10 billion taxpayer dollars improperly. To get their arms around this problem, Elon Musk and the DOGE team went straight to the source. They went to the Treasury Department's Fiscal Service, which makes about 90% of the trillions in federal payments issued annually. The audit of these payment systems was long overdue. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent gave DOGE employees working for the government read-only access to these systems so they could conduct that initial audit. That audit is already paying dividends. Musk learned that the databases federal agencies are supposed to check to prevent payments to fraudsters, crime rings, and dead people are not being kept up to date. Going forward, we are going to get more mileage out of these do not pay databases. That means fewer improper payments and less fraud and waste of taxpayer dollars.
Somebody said we should only do tariffs and we shouldn't pay any taxes whatsoever. Easier said than done. I think that everything needs to be progressive as far as reducing our footprint or what it takes. But you can't operate off of 36 trillion and think that it's just going to go away overnight. We need to be better stewards of our money. We need to manage our resources more effectively. We need to allow for people to create businesses that thrive and then contributes into the tax base. And then we still need infrastructure updates and things like that. We're not starting a brand new country. This country is already in existence. So it's no way that you can do that. All right. You can feel how you want to feel, but if you understand civics, if you understand government spending, if you also understand exactly how money works, that would be impossible to go to a zero tax whatsoever. This whole country would collapse because we wouldn't have any way to pay our debt. So just is what it is. Let me see a little bit more of what major retailer is saying.
Despite this fraud that's already been revealed, a federal judge in New York issued a ruling last Friday that ran totally contrary to the will of the people. The judge blocked not only DOGE, but the Treasury Secretary himself from accessing his own agency's payment systems. That's absurd. Only career Treasury Department unelected bureaucrats can access the system, the judge ruled. This turns the Constitution on its head. We will hold this judge and others who try to stop the will of the people and their elected leaders accountable. As is written in the Federalist Papers, the judiciary has no influence over either the sword or the purse, no direction either of the strength or the wealth of the society. It may truly be said to have neither force nor will, but merely judgment, and must ultimately depend upon the aid of the executive arm for the efficacy of its judgments.
I think that any judge that is blocking an audit of the federal government so that we can be more efficient and use our dollars more effectively is compromised and probably shouldn't be a judge. Anybody should be able to get audited. If we are able to just randomly get audited by the IRS to prove our income, which is documented on paper and it's electronic at this point, meaning that anybody that pays us as a contractor, as an individual, as a W-2, all of that, they have to file an electronic, there's an electronic footprint as a result of it that goes to the IRS. Anybody that does that, we should be able to audit them also. It should be transparency on both sides. When you get into an argument with your chick and you start talking about her spending, the first thing you do is say, all I do is work and I don't even buy nothing for myself. And all I got is a pair of shoes. And then you go over there and do this and do that. You can't justify it unless you can audit them too. And so you first got to have your own house clean before you start to hold everybody else accountable. I am looking forward to what is going to happen over the next 18 months. We're going to have a lean government. We're going to get world peace. We're going to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And hopefully we'll start to find the bad actors so that we can hold them accountable, similar to this judge right here. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to read the Cash Apps and Super Chats. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to transition over into the charges that is filed against New York City. All right. First thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge Anthony Labricio says both parents at fault on the death of the children. Appreciate you, big dog. Mr. DJ in the building, I appreciate you also. Jamaica says, I love you and I appreciate you. Keep up the hard work. Thank you, my love. You mentor tons of us through your content. Thank you. Thank you, Jamaica. I appreciate that. And then Anthony also said, for what's wrong with the black churches? What a mess. I agree. And then also, again, shout out to Mr. DJ. I appreciate you for holding me down. I also want to acknowledge the super chats. Casual Germ says fuel pipelines, soil rich and mineral. Oh, Ukraine will be paying us back. Let them win first. Poland is hoping they just lose so that they can evade. Appreciate you, Casual Germ. Ashley Williams says everything I see in the media makes it seem like Trump Musk only want to make the rich richer. Like they don't have intentions on truly helping America, but I come to your channel and hear otherwise. Well, you're going to get the truth over here. Pam, what up, Pam? Pam says, Anton, when you sit in the media seat at the White House briefing, do you get to ask a question or just listen? I can't wait. Well, I can't say anything about that right now. I'm in D.C. for a reason right now. The Run says, when I was in the military, it was always known that if you are a government contractor, the federal government always going to pay and is going to pay on time, no questions asked. I hear that too. 10% tax. The U.S. ain't the church. 12%. Nah. 10 flat tax, 10% everybody. Fair tax is better. Riches of the IRS consumption tax. Good morning, AD and the bag chasers. We impose box tax and tariffs. We'll be out of the red in 2028. Yeah, we need to put a tax on people paying for box. I want all my money back, every last bit of it, says Ronan Roy. 81. Magnetar 17 says, Anton facts, the IRS randomly audited me in late 2023, but they ended up on me. That's always a good feeling. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's move over into the next part of the show. So, Pam Bondi. Okay, hold on. We're going to go against that because there's a typo right there. So we're going to just go ahead and omit that from this live stream. But let's first go over into New York City before we get to Pam Bondi. And then I want to talk about her filing charges and going after
tomorrow
Holko and Letitia James and hopefully holding them accountable for some of their egregious behavior and the money that they go and get. But first, let's talk about all of the monies that's been put out there. Let's talk about all of the monies that's been put out there for them to steal from you, an American citizen.
Tomorrow, the mayor is expected to meet with the border czar, Tom Homan, here in the city. This is the federal government clawed back more than $80 million given to the city to house migrants. As Jennifer Bisram reports, City Controller Brad Lander is now calling on city officials to step in.
This is highway robbery. New York City Comptroller Brad Lander Wednesday afternoon after he says his office found over $80 million missing from the city's accounts. FEMA funds, he says, were awarded to the city to house a...
If somebody is spamming the chat with nonsense, y'all have the ability to time them out to remove all of the spam. All right.
Asylum seekers. These are folks who, for the most part, registered with the federal government when they crossed. In many cases, got sent here by the federal government. New York City stepped up to provide shelter and services and pay for that. It comes after Elon Musk, head of the White House's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, claimed the money was being wasted on luxury hotels to house migrants. The Department of Homeland Security says 4 people were recently fired for making unauthorized payments to those luxury hotels. A spokesperson saying in part, FEMA was funding the Roosevelt Hotel that serves as a Trinidad base of operations and was used to house Laken Riley's killer. There will not be a single penny spent that goes against the interest and safety of the American people.
You know what I find interesting is that, isn't it funny how J.D. Vance and Trump have already solved for well over 80% of the people that were displaced by the hurricanes over in North Carolina? The Biden administration was nowhere to be found. FEMA was not helping and they were not stepping in. This is not something that's normally, or that is even being normalized or reported on legacy media sites. Nobody has talked about it whatsoever. The only thing that we got was visibility in the J.D. Vance going over there. And I think that the Trump administration is doing so many great things. It's almost like you can't keep up with the transparency and the accountability that they have, along with how they're actually helping American citizens. We ain't even a month into his presidency, and he's already doing great things for the people. Yet FEMA was trying to, remember when they were saying that FEMA ain't got no money and they underfunded, and that was under the Biden administration? Well, it's interesting because FEMA is funding a migrant crisis. All of this is money laundering, in my opinion, but let's continue.
Sending $59 million to a migrant hotel to house illegal immigrants when there are still people in North Carolina and California who have not received FEMA funding is not something that this administration is going to tolerate.
That from White House officials during a briefing after the funds were seized. The federal program we're talking about, the Shelter and Services Program, has a $12.50 a night cap on hotel and shelter prices. And obviously New York City paid much more than $12.50 a night for the tents at Floyd Bennett Field and Randall's Island, much less for the hotels here. The mayor's office says it's conducting an internal investigation, adding our office has already engaged with the White House about recouping these funds, and we've requested an emergency meeting with FEMA to try and resolve the matter as quickly as possible.
I got my eye on everybody over in New York. I think that New York has been doing a lot of finessing for a long time, even outside of what you're experiencing with the whole FEMA situation. I think that just New York in general is just one of the most crooked cities, probably right behind Los Angeles and Chicago. I think Chicago probably is number one. But I think that New York City is probably one of the most crooked cities that you've ever seen in your entire life. I want to go over to Pam Bondi actually announcing how she was going to go after New York City, that operated as a sanctuary city while stealing money at the same time and still protecting illegal migrants and preventing the Trump administration and Tom Homan, the border czar, from being able to get these people up out of there. Let's go over to Pam Bondi and what she said yesterday. Let's get it.
Sorry, we were a little bit late. I was in the West Wing swearing in Tulsi Gabbard, and so I just came straight back here. So thanks for being patient with us with the delay. We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who...
This deserves a full, hold on, I got to go full screen on this one because I haven't actually seen this video yet. So this is the first time that I actually seen a video, but we got to go full screen on this one, y'all. That's crazy.
Who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. Millions of illegal aliens with violent records have flooded into our communities, bringing violence and deadly drugs with them. With me today, I'm so proud to be joined by Tammy Nobles. Tammy is an angel mom.
Crazy.
Her beautiful daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered by an MS-13 member in 2022. Kayla had just turned 20 years old, and she was raped and murdered by someone who should not have been in our country. Yet he was released, flown to Maryland, where he committed this violent murder. I just want you to hear from Tammy. Tammy represents not only herself and her family, but all of the great angel moms around this country who have suffered because of what the Biden administration did. And it is.
What is an angel mom? Does anybody know what an angel mom is?
It's over.
Thank you for having me here today and being able to share Kayla's story. Her murderer was able to come across the border knowing that he was flagged as an MS-13 gang member, and he had a criminal record in 2020 in El Salvador for illicit gain.
Okay. Looked up what an angel mom is. It says a mother whose child has died, or a mother whose child was killed by an undocumented immigrant. I didn't know it was that specific, but that is literally what it says right here. Crazy
activity. He came over as an unoccupied alien child, saying that he was afraid of gang activity in his country. Health and Human Services called him a nice boy, and he showed age-appropriate behavior. That fell so wrong when he murdered my daughter. He ended up in Maryland, where he was able to rent a room in the same mobile home as her. We thought it was a legit company that were renting out these rooms, but it turned out that it was another illegal immigrant who owned these mobile homes. And he knew Walter from El Salvador. He knew him and allowed him to rent a room with my child.
What do y'all, let me ask y'all a question. What do y'all feel about ownership laws or ownership of things from people that's outside of the country? Now, I know that there's a lot of different things. Like, for example, if you go over to Billionaires Row, there's a lot of Asian and Russian investors and stuff that then buy out some of these properties. And in a lot of these properties, there aren't even really any lights on, and there's vacancy because they're basically using them as a tax shelter or a place in order to hold money or held money. But what do y'all think about people that are not documented and or are not a citizen in the United States of America being able to own certain things inside of the country? If you can't travel here, if you have no ability to be legal here, then why? And I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm just asking y'all a question and think about it before y'all answer. Do you think that people that are illegally in the country or are undocumented should have the ability to own things inside the United States of America? I know that every country has its own policies. I know that there are places where you can have properties and own properties outside of the United States of America. So just think about that for a second.
Kayla just turned 20 years old 3 days before she was murdered. Her murderer was only living there for 5 days before he viciously strangled her, raped her, and left her on the floor like trash and robbed her of $6. I have been sharing her story for over 2.5 years to bring change, because this should have not have ever happened to Kayla, and it shouldn't be happening to other families being hurt by the border. Homeland Security did not do their jobs. They did not check his background. You know, they did say that he was processed. So if they processed him, they knew that he was a gang member and still allowed him here. Health and Human Services did not verify the sponsor and allowed him to go with a sponsor that they don't even know if it was his cousin or his aunt. And he was able to leave the sponsor's house to go live wherever he wanted.
That's crazy. Let's go over to Pam Bondi again.
We're letting walk into our country. And that's why President Trump has directed this to stop. And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next, get ready. And the great men and women of law enforcement are standing behind me today. We have FBI, DEA, ATF agents. They put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you. Questions?
Yeah, that's a problem. When you go so left or you go so liberal to where you can't even protect your own American citizens, and even when things and violent crime happen to American citizens, people still have the ability to flee and go to a different state, or they do catch and release and stuff like that. That is absolutely a problem. Letitia James should have spent more money protecting American citizens instead of focusing on this frivolous lawsuit that was against Trump and trying to prevent him from becoming the president of the United States of America. Shout out to Pam Bondi for doing great things. We absolutely think that she's awesome. Let me read a few of these super chats and then we're going to move over into the show. Mika in the building says they all hear AD MS-13. Make sure y'all go over there and y'all subscribe to Red Cup Talks podcast with Mika. She will be on the show tonight. She will be on the show tonight, and we're going to have some great conversations. I want to reintroduce some of these subjects because I definitely want to get the opinion of Mika and Carrie and Quentin and Slimmy. And I also want to get my girl Molly. Molly not going to be there tonight, but Molly going to be there tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. Shout out to Mika. Quinn Chapman says, everyone around me plays the Victim Olympics. I've been slowly separating myself. Can't wait to move from Baltimore in June. Any recommendations on where to move? Wherever the money is, wherever you find a great job at, move where the money is. That's what I believe. I don't believe that there's one specific city. I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions is that there was one specific city that people should go to that is going to be ideal or conducive or best for people or best for people with a certain mentality, or it can't be a red city or a blue city. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care if it's a red city. I don't care if it's a blue city. The only thing I care about is there money to be made there? Because it really doesn't matter your politics. When you have enough resources, you're not going to be subjected to the same thing that everybody is subjected to anyway. So my recommendation is to go wherever the money is, wherever they're going to pay you the biggest bag, wherever you can make it make sense as far as your cost of living. That is the thing that I think that you need to embrace when it comes to expanding your network and doing your thing. All right. That's my recommendation. There is no specific city. Just go to the place where all of the money is. CivLab says with some countries, buying enough properties there gets you citizenship. So they all got different deals. Hello, Anthony Detroit. Who is Anthony Detroit on? I truly love you and look forward to working with you in some capacity, says Nisi Knight. In the near future, keep doing what you do. Okay, Nisi, I'll see you, baby. Charlemagne is going to protect Letitia James. Courtney Egger says, fam, I started reading Diplomacy by Henry Kissinger. Shout out to Courtney. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that hold us down. I appreciate y'all continuing to support the platform. It does not go unnoticed. I want to move over to Jasmine Crockett. All right? Man. I want to move over to Jasmine. Jasmine Crockett is pushing. I'm trying to figure out what the long-term play is. I don't know if Jasmine at some point is going to try to run for president of the United States of America. I don't know if Jasmine Crockett is ultimately pivoting so that she can get some kind of higher cabinet appointment position if a Democrat wins the election at some point in the near future. I don't know what her goals are, but Jasmine Crockett has been on a war path lately. And I mean, there is no other politician outside of, well, let me revise it. There's no other liberal that I get videos sent to me than Jasmine Crockett. Now, I know Jasmine had swore allegiance to Kamala Harris in trying to get her elected. I know that Jasmine Crockett is also a part of the Divine Nine. I know that Jasmine Crockett is also down in Texas. But Jasmine has tried to take the reins of the younger, newer Democratic Party of what they think that people should be doing. That's what I've been seeing. Jasmine Crockett, and to a lesser extent, AOC. In this video, I am going to present to you guys, Jasmine Crockett is basically going off on Elon Musk at a House censorship meeting. All right. I have not seen it. I only seen a portion of it, roughly 30 seconds to see if it was something worth reviewing. And I want to present it to you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Jasmine Crockett. And then I want you guys to tell me what you think her goals are in trying to continue to grow her career in politics. Let's get it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just in case I go over, I just wanted to note that the previous speaker went over by a minute. We've heard a lot about the fact that Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not going to stop talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and confirmed to something, then so be it. But as of right now, we have somebody that for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're stupid, or if you literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros.
I love that word. She loves literally. She loves literally. Now, I will admit she knows how to pronounce her words or enunciate her words correctly. She loves the word literally. That is her thing. Let's continue.
Bill Gates, but let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates ever somehow decided to turn off the spigot of money that was going through to various organizations and agencies to the extent that it had actually been ordered by law that they should have access to it, to the extent that people are dying.
All right, hold on. I'm going to let her play. I'm going to let her cook. But let me just say this. Anybody defending George Soros and Bill Gates, you already lost me. They are defending George Soros and Bill Gates. I'm not going to say anything negative about either one of them because that goes without saying. And I think that y'all know enough about George Soros and Bill Gates to come to your own conclusions. George Soros and Bill Gates, she's comparing Elon Musk. Now, the only reason that she's comparing these people is because they have an insane amount of wealth and they're billionaires. But comparing George Soros and Bill Gates to Elon Musk is insane. That is the craziest thing that I've ever heard of in my entire life. Get the heck out of here. But this is your Jasmine. Y'all keep telling me that the J is silent. Y'all tried to hold me accountable when we was talking about Jorge. Where's Jorge anyway? Because I was saying that his name is George. Y'all said that the J and the G is silent. He's not George in Jorge. He's not George in Jorge. He said, don't call it Jesus, call it Jesus. Well, where Jorge? Hey, where Jorge? You anybody seen Jorge? Jorge K? I noticed that Jorge only want to pop up and start having conversations when we got the ladies on the panel. See, when we start to have after hours, then Jorge wants to start popping up. Hey, Jorge. Okay, well, we're going to call her Jasmine. Jasmine. The S is silent. The J is silent. Anything with a J or a S got to be removed. So Jasmine Crockett is going off, and she's comparing. Y'all said my name is Jeff. No, it's not Jeff. It's Jefe. Hey, Jefe. Hey, Jefe. Y'all mean? I think Mika taught me that. Mika, did you tell me that? Mika, were you the one that told me that? No, maybe you didn't. I'm going to blame it on Mika, though. Mika said that the J is silent. Y'all mean the J, the S, the G, all of that is silent. None of that. All of that is pronounced with an H. Just make sure you brush your teeth when you pronounce it. Jorge, Yamin, Jesus, and hey Holmes, what's up, F? Let's get to this. Let's let Jasmine cook, y'all.
There are people that have died as a result of this antic, and there are now farmers that are screaming that they may lose their family farms because we have over $500 million worth of food that is sitting and not going anywhere because of the attempt to shut down U.S. aid. So let me tell you, that is the big difference between the two of them. And let me also tell you that a big difference between Democrats and Republicans is that we don't just say we believe in the Constitution, but we walk it like
y'all not gonna try to give me no link. Okay, so T-Mac says no, bruh, it's a different language. The J is pronounced as an H in Spanish. Okay, so how do you pronounce the J then? Or what's the J sound in? And the silent letters are for American names that want to be special. All right, so if the J is pronounced as an H, then the G is also pronounced as an H. What is the H is pronounced as? And how do you replace the J and the G? I know that I'm a C student, but y'all not gonna finesse me with logic. You ain't gonna finesse. Okay, so what letter do we flip over to the J and the G then? If we can't pronounce it the way that we say that we spell it, and if American language is not a H is silent in Spanish, okay, so we just put it there for no reason. Why even put the H there if it's silent? So Humberto is Umberto, huh? There are no J's in Spanish. Okay, so how do you pronounce J? Y'all not gonna start telling me y'all spell stuff like Fat Farm with a PH now. No, I'm not going for it. You know what? This is what we're gonna do. Spanish is gonna be reserved for the baddies. Hey, baby, talk to me in Spanish. Hey, talk to me in Spanish, baby. Mon amor, P amor. Just put amor at the end of it. You can say whatever you want to say. Just say amor at the end of it. Yeah, put Poppy at the end of it. Amor Poppy. Oh, amor Poppy. The Spanish is reserved for the bad chicks. But I'm going to speak that American English. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's get it.
we talk it. What does that mean? That means that if we believe in the Constitution, we don't just pick out the Second Amendment and say that it is limitless, nor do we pick out the First Amendment and say that it is limitless. The thing about the Constitution is that it has always been a balancing test. There are limits to this. And right now, what we continue to hear from a certain side of the aisle is that there are no limits to this lawlessness. In fact, there are limits. And I can tell you that one of those limits typically is around hate crimes. You may or may not.
I'm not gonna keep on talking about my C student behavior in the chat. I'm not having it. Because I make sense in my mind. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Know that when it comes down to it, if somebody decides that they want to send something hateful in, say, the U.S. mail, they can actually go to prison for that, up to 5 years in prison. So yes, there are always going to be limits.
About, man?
So when we start to talk about Trump,
Jasmine Crockett reminds me of, and this is why we can't have women in leadership positions sometimes. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I personally, unless I'm going for a regular corporate job and we already have a woman that's above me, I'm not going to inherently pick her because when I see a woman going off like this and they talking with their hands and they twisting their neck and all of that stuff, it don't hit the same. I just be looking like, oh yeah. Because like even if a girl goes off, like let's say for example, you with your significant other or you in a relationship, and she started talking. In real life, like we can do that on panels and all of that stuff, but in real life, honestly, I'd be like, oh yeah, here, come here, sit on my lap and tell me about it. And they start laughing. I don't be paying no attention to what y'all saying. Because you know what? Because you decided that you just wanted to go and do what you wanted to do and all of this stuff. And I'll be like, yeah. Come here. Listen, you keep talking, but why don't you just come and tell me to my face then? I'm not coming over there because then all you gonna want to do is have sex. Here, yeah, tell me about it. Come here. Take them clothes off. Take that shirt off. Take them pants off. Because if you're going to talk to me, you got to talk to me like you in the garden. The way that God spoke to Eve. Why you got them clothes on? I'll do the same thing. Why you got... Oh, so you think you've been eating from the... That's what I tell. Oh, so, okay. I got you. So why you got them clothes on? What do you mean why I got them clothes on? I see. You've been eating from the fruit. You've been eating from the tree of knowledge. Now you know the difference between good and bad, huh? Come here. Come talk to me for a minute. I don't be paying y'all no attention. I don't be paying. I don't pay y'all no attention. That's why, you know what I'm saying? If you wear a size 18, like the lady that I reviewed yesterday, if you wear a size 18, I'm forced to pay attention to what you're talking about because I'm like, you ain't sitting on my lap. You can forget it.
Being pulled down on any platform. This just happened to be after he incited an insurrection. This just happened to be after, in a bipartisan way, this particular chamber decided that they were going to impeach him. So there was something a little different about what he did, because as we know, it led to people actually dying. But let's talk about who's doing the nefarious things with the tech giants. Because I don't think that
references.
One side of the aisle is promoting truth, but sometimes it may seem a little treasonous.
You said Jasmine Crockett makes some points even if you disagree. I'm waiting for her to get to the point.
Article right here about this guy. Meta says it will end its fact-checking program on social media posts. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we have Washington Post says it will not endorse a candidate for president. We also know that actually they absolutely intended to endorse Kamala Harris. We have this one. Google Maps now show Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico for app users in the United States, which is a complete farce because it's the Gulf of Mexico. It always has been. And we know that the AP got kicked out yesterday because they refused to buy into this lie, because that's all y'all really want to promote is lies. That's the big issue that we have. Elon Musk boosted false USA conspiracy theories to shut down global aid. Now, while he was boosting those lies about USA.
Hey, is this what y'all this is what y'all signed? This is why y'all signed up for her? Because honestly, I'm genuinely trying to understand if anybody that is inside of this hearing is listening to her. Is there anybody in the house listening to Jasmine Crockett? We have to work on our communication skills, because just because you rant a lot and you talk a lot does not mean that you are effective. And that's what I be trying to teach the ladies. You're more effective when you sit here for an inspection. When you come for an inspection, you're much more likely to get what you want than you are all of this. Honestly, she tasked whoever it was that made this visual reference, that's standing behind that sign carrying it. She thought she was cooking when she put up Mark Zuckerberg is refusing to censor Americans, that Jeff Bezos is removing endorsements in newspapers and instead wants to focus the Washington Post on reporting news instead of getting caught up politically, that they renamed it the Gulf of America and that Elon Musk is auditing the federal government. Is this what you really standing on? Ugh. Ugh, I couldn't do it, bro. I just couldn't do it. I don't really understand what the point of all of this is, but tell them why you mad, Jazz.
And he was stopping money going for, say, things such as Head Start. Somehow, the only money that didn't stop was the money to him and his organization. Now, I don't know how you can have him be the watchdog as well as the guy that is literally living off of the government. If we want to talk about government welfare, it looks like Elon Musk, because it's my understanding that just on yesterday, a new contract was approved for approximately $300 million for Elon Musk. So listen, I just want y'all to be honest. You want to sit here, you want to lie, because so often we hear, well, you know, yeah, we did lie. In fact, he admitted that he lied when he was in the Oval Office yesterday. But if it's a lie that will get you into office, such as saying, I know nothing about Project 2025, yet on day one,
we're back to Project 2025 again. I got you.
You literally do everything that you can to implement it.
Love that word, literally.
Including making sure that you put, say, one of the main architects of Project 2025 over the OMB. It's okay, so long as you get the power that you seek. The problem is that the game is going to be on the American people. And when I say the American people, I mean all of us. Unfortunately, I am also stuck in the twilight zone because of the lies that were allowed to be propagated. Just like when you're talking about vaccines and all this nonsense. Right now in my state of Texas, there is an outbreak of measles. And what they are finding is that because there's been so much disinformation about vaccines, that kids are sick right now with me.
No, that's not. Listen, Jazz, respectfully, baby, respectfully. And I like your enthusiasm. I love your anger. You feed right into the black women are angry narrative and all of that. But respectfully, Jazz, that's not measles down there in Houston. That's herpes. That's not measles. That's herpes. That's a fact. There is a herpes outbreak that is happening down there in Houston. That's not measles, that's herpes. And when these kids are born with herpes in their eyes and they can't see straight and they got them big old bifocals on, that's because they gave them a 2-for-1 of chlamydia and herpes. All of that rah-rah and all of that stuff. I don't know what her goal is. I don't know if she continuing to promote herself. I don't know if she got a book coming out. I don't know what that is. All I know is that anybody that is mad at Elon Musk for auditing the federal government and would compare him to George Soros or Bill Gates, you completely lose respect in my book. And so it's nothing I can say about that. Anyways, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of these super chats, and then we're going to move over into the next part of the show. Why is she worth $9 million? Who is worth $9 million? Talking about Jasmine Crockett? I doubt that. Ain't no way in the world that Jasmine Crockett is worth $9 million. 80 needs Rosetta Stone, the modern hooked on phonics. Is Rosetta Stone the modern hooked on phonics? I'll take it because I need to know what the ladies are saying to me. Jasmine Crockett said it seems like she wants attention, yelling a bunch of nothingness and puts on a fashion show with her wardrobes. Literally, she cute though. Jasmine Crockett is your thing, big dog? I got you. It is what it is. Aaron Smitty says between Jasmine Crockett and Jazz from the Q show, they probably the same person. I definitely know the ones to avoid. Hey, AD, I see you like Spanish. Torta. What is you like a Spanish torta? What is a Spanish torta? Let me look that up. Spanish torta. That's a piece of food. That's a recipe. That's a recipe. Reverend Tim Duncan says, I speak to the baddies in Spanish with the Antonio Banderas voice. Dangerous rhetoric she spews, says Chris Cunningham. Teresta Richardson. I am now Spanish. Crockett is speaking as if she is still campaigning for Kamala. She makes my brain bleed. Urisky PS said, if you do a lot of talking, chuck it and jive, you're believable. All this saying is someone don't want their money to be figured out and how they got it. I got you. I agree. Brock is here. Shout out to my guy, Brock. Brock says, Pastor Love, everything I can't stand you, AD. I'm cracking up at you say, hi, Poppy. Got my coworkers looking at me all kind of sort of crazy. Mark the Guardian says she lost me at walking like a talking. Walking like a talking. Hey, walking. Courtney Smith said, but they stay quiet. Maybe I might throw a little bit of Russian in there. They stay quiet. And the reason that I like the Russian accent is because I was watching, what's the name of it? The one with Matt Damon and he was the card player and he was going against the Russian guy. Whatever that movie was. They stay quiet on the trustee of the Heritage Foundation endorsing Kamala. Yeah. Kitty X8300 says the Democrats plan to go after Section 230 because they have lost control of the tech platforms. Smithy Boy 2100 says, but she got so much smoke for Elon, but they just want to step outside of Nancy Mace called the bluff. The bluff. Moses King, thank you. The division is real. The Democrat Party might have been one of the largest, the biggest money laundering syndicates in the world. Jasmine, Crockett, DJ Silent is the newest up-and-coming capo earning her stripes. Jazz is now trying to be maxing away at us. Diane Hendricks says being called taught in Spanish is them calling you fat AD. Only thing fat is Anton Daniels, yes. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I appreciate y'all continuing to hold me down. Let's move over into the next part of this show. Okay. Somebody said the accent is all over the place. You got to mix some things in. You got to put a little American, some Chinese, some Mandarin in there. I sound like more of an Indian from English. From India. Is this Russian or Spanish? Y'all didn't see that movie from it was called Rounders. It was called Rounders. And the guy, he was going against Matt Damon. And he was like, oh, it's okay. I still am playing you with your money because I like to stick it in you. Y'all don't remember that part? Because I like to stick it in you. Here, let me show it to you real quick. Rounders. Russian KGB. Because I like to stick it in you. I will splash the pot however I want. Y'all don't remember this scene? Hold on, I'm about to show it to you real quick. If y'all never seen Rounders, I'm a movie guy. So I like to watch movies a lot. And he liked to stick with you. And so I had to imitate that Malkovich. Genius guy. Before we move over to y'all never seen this part?
Still morning to make good.
I am still up 20 grand from this last time I stick it in you.
They're trying to goad me. Yeah, trying to own me.
Look.
What'd you say?
Your money.
Money.
I am still up 20 grand from this last time I stick it in you.
They're trying to goad me. Yeah.
So if y'all never seen Rounders, it is a phenomenal movie. From the last time I like to stick it in you. He was like a part of the Russian mafia. They was playing poker and all of that stuff. So it's a great movie. Y'all should really check it out. Anyways, we need to move on with the show, guys. We cannot keep getting distracted. Oh. Yeah, he's not Russian, but it was pretty funny. We cannot keep getting distracted. We got to keep focusing on the things that matter. And the next thing that matters is buyouts, because the judge is now clearing the way for Elon Musk to actually push past everything that Wes Moore was telling you guys about as far as buyouts. Okay, so government workers, federal workers are trying to shrink the workforce, and they got to make sure that they right size the government, and they're offering you the opportunity to still get paid all the way through September. And this is the latest of it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Patreon live stream coming up soon. Let's deep dive into it.
Judges cleared the way for the buyout offer for more than 2 million federal workers, rejecting a lawsuit that had put that plan on hold, and scores of federal workers are already being fired. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is at the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. Well, dozens of lawsuits have been filed, but this does mark the first major victory for the Trump administration. A judge declaring that buyout program can move forward. And this morning, the offer is officially closed.
Overnight, a stark message from Elon Musk, insisting the U.S. needs to get rid of entire government agencies to make sure the changes last beyond President Trump's term.
If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. So we have to really delete entire agencies, many of them.
The billionaire, who is one of the president's most powerful advisors, comparing it to a large-scale corporate turnaround he did at one of his own companies.
It's like a big company, like a big corporation, American Incorporated. And, just like with Twitter, there was a lot of stuff that was being done that was unnecessary.
The president has directed Musk and his team to significantly cut staffing and limit hiring across all federal agencies.
We have to make our government smaller, more efficient, more effective, and a lot less expensive.
This morning, the White House closing its buyout offer to some 2 million federal workers with the choice to resign now or run the risk of being fired. A judge...
For all of y'all that decided that you wanted to take the risk and you wanted to listen to Wes Moore, now Wes Moore is going to have blood on its hands, because for whatever reason, y'all gonna get it together. You not gonna think that you just gonna deal with the Biden administration. This ain't the Biden administration. So when they said that you had a certain amount of time to consider and take the buyout, and some of y'all was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep on waiting. I don't know if that's what I want to do. I don't know what's going on. Well, guess what? Eventually, they're going to come to your place, and they're going to decide whether or not you're going to be there or not. And so your opportunity for a buyout, they're going to stick it in you. They're going to stick it in you. And so if you should have already been doing a assessment of what you do for a living, and if your agency is actually a needed agency, or if they just have some redundancy inside of the federal government where they duplicate whatever it is that you're doing. If you think that you're that important, then maybe you'll still have a job. However, it's a strong, and when I say strong, I would give it an 80-20 chance of you being reduced. Think about it. USAID got reduced from over 10,000 people to like less than 400, meaning that was all of that blow. It was 9,600 people that they did not need. I'm just telling you the truth. And y'all thought that they was going to keep extending the offer. Somebody's put in the chat, they put like 65,000 people took the offer. That ain't enough. That's not enough. It's not enough. They are now going to run the federal government efficiency. Efficiency is the name of the word. Redundancy. When they say redundancy, do we have synergy? I'm going to give you all of the corporate terms that they say. Yeah, so we're going to let the people go because we need to make sure that we have synergy within the company. Synergy meaning that they want to reduce the workforce and they want you to do more with less. And we have a lot of redundancy. Maybe you merge companies. Maybe Jaguar was bought out and they did this, whatever. And so they got 2 HR departments. They don't need 2. They only need 1. And the one that they got is too bloated. And so they're going to reduce headcount by being able to do more, sell more cars, use the brand, recognition, marketing, but they don't need as many people in order to manufacture them. They're going to manufacture them on the same line. They're going to lay you off. And so, I wish a lot of y'all would have actually taken it a lot more serious. Not saying that you should or you shouldn't, but I wish that a lot of people actually took it a lot more serious, because this is really happening. And most people that work for the federal government has never been laid off before. But it's really happening this time.
Clearing the way for the program to move forward. The White House press secretary calling the decision the first of many legal wins for the president. But the judge did not weigh in on whether the program is legal, instead arguing the unions that brought the lawsuit don't have standing because they are not directly impacted, stating this is not sufficient. Those unions argue the president has no authority to make such an offer, but Trump telling me this week the Americans who opted in will be paid.
Can you personally guarantee that the workers who opt in to resign now will be paid through
Well,
September?
they'll get their money, but they're getting a good deal. They're getting a big buyout.
Amid questions about transparency, Musk and his team have started to provide sporadic, sometimes vague updates about cuts to federal programs on a government website, which also directs Americans to the social media platform X, which Musk owns. One tab on the website states, receipts coming soon, no later than Valentine's Day. As the administration vows,
that is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Valentine's Day. If you didn't get your chick something for this fake upcoming holiday, Valentine's, and then I know y'all like to say Valengals or Valentines.
Breaking news.
Valentines, all of that stuff is happening this weekend. Don't let her finesse you into buying stuff that you don't need. But mass firings are underway at government agencies, and we know that the judge is no longer blocking Trump from being able to offer these buyouts. Take a look.
Breaking news, mass firings have begun at federal agencies, according to employee and union sources. Probationary employees are being fired at the Department of Education and Small Business Administration.
Valentine's Day. When is Valentine's Day the same day or the day before, the day after Valentine's Day? Tell me what Valentine's Day is, because I know Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday, and that's definitely tomorrow.
Now, until now, federal employees across the government were just placed on administrative leave. Jamal is back with us at the table. These firings appear to affect people. The Department of Education has been in DOGE's sights. People in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services that supports kids with disabilities, and the Federal Student Aid Office. That's at least what we know right now. I also want to read part of what the letter said to these employees. Quote, the agency finds, based on your performance, that you have not demonstrated that your further employment at the agency would be in the public interest. So it's begun.
So most of the 19th century, the civil service was open for patronage, right? It was handled by big city bosses and, politicians of both parties. In 1883, President Chester Arthur made the merit-based system civil service. And that was to get rid of politics in our civil service, so we knew we could count on government employees to do the people's business, not the politicians' business. We are not just going back to some previous, thing in the 70s, 1970s, or the 1950s. We're going all the way back to the 1870s and how the President of the United States wants to govern. So whether he wants to be President McKinley and start annexing like new lands overseas, or he wants to go back to an earlier era where everybody's going to be beholden to the president and not beholden to the people. This is not, I think, what the American public signed up for. They wanted change, and the Democrats want change. All of us, I think, want to have a government that works for us, it's faster, it's more efficient, but we don't want a government that doesn't work for us and works for billionaires and the president.
Okay, I'm trying to understand it. Listen, I don't trust people that don't have facial hair. You got to have a stash, man. Even if you don't have a beard, I understand. Listen, I personally had to take a respiratory test when I started working for the plant. And so they made me shave my beard in order for me to have suction around my face, just in case I ever had to have an emergency happen at the plant, at the steel mill. And so I had to shave my face, but I still kept my stash, man. If the only thing that you got on your face is eyebrows and you a veggie tail, if the only thing you are is a veggie tail, if Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. If young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. All right, that's what the slogan says. Future said, I believe Future. Future has been running the game for a long time. Now, with that being said, the Department of Education has been broken for a long time. I've even heard recently, and I'm not going to name the states, I'm not going to name the cities and none of that, that, first of all, No Child Left Behind is trash. All right. Because a lot of y'all should have been flunked and started the grade over. And just because you would have started college at 22 don't mean that you should have passed. You should have did it over until you got it together. That's number one. Number two, it's interesting because in some of these cities, they are actually paying children to go to school. They are paying children to go to school. You know what the most profitable day is in public schools a lot of times? Count day. Because count day is one day a year, count day, where they determine how much funding that particular school is going to get based off of what their enrollment numbers are. And one of the ways that they determine how much money go into the schools is property taxes. Property taxes, that's a fact. It's a fact. And so I think that every single department inside of the federal government needs to be revised, revamped, and renewed. There's no way that y'all think that our education system is sufficient while we're being destroyed and competed against from other countries. And that's why we want their best and their brightest, because we're not producing great people over here in the United States of America. Let's continue.
Every 4 years. I mean, I'm just trying to put my head in the position of this country when Trump is not president, right? Every 4 years, presumptively now, the president's going to come in.
Somebody said fourth graders can't read. Grown folks can't read. Grown folks can't read as good as fourth graders. There are people out here that are walking around room 9, getting people pregnant, and can't read past the second, third grade level. That is a fact. That is a fact. There are grown folks that cannot read a sentence. Did packet contain important information, benefit? There are grown people that cannot read. They cannot read a book. If you give them a book to read, amen, they're going to tell you, man, this book is too thick. What you mean? You a grown person above the age of 25, and you talking about how thick the book is. If you're above the age of 25, there should not be a book that you think is too thick.
And the entire civil service of the government is going to change out. And all the things that you relied on the government to do, now you have no idea whether the government's going to do it or not because of the whims of the president. I think that is also something that we have to take seriously as a possibility here.
Well, the whims, as you call them, are embedded in the Constitution of the United States. The president's the head of the executive branch. He ought to be able to decide how to operate the executive branch and who works at the executive branch. And you say that the government shouldn't answer to the president, should answer to the people. Well, how do the people?
They should be responsible.
How do the people choose how to govern themselves? By electing a president. And so, look, these are probationary employees. I don't know how many it is, but all I know is this: government only ever seems to get bigger and never really seems to get smaller. He promised to make it smaller, and now they're making it smaller. To me, the political upside here is quite obvious.
And I think this goes hand in hand with the buyouts that were offered that the judge then put a freeze on.
Oh,
right?
snaps. Wait a minute. Are all of these people the same? She looked like a silver dollar. Are all of these people a part of the same network? Because I see people that's from The View jumping on CNN all the time. I'm just wondering.
And so,
and
if
that
they
freeze,
can't,
just to be clear, that freeze has now been lifted by the judge because the
and
case
it's going to be appealed.
Going on.
So if it's, if they can't do it through the buyouts, then they're going to fire people. And who can they fire? They can fire the people who don't yet have union protection because they are probationary, as Scott just
Meaning
said.
they were more recently hired.
Which means I don't understand how they can be sending an email saying your performance has proven not to be up to par when they were just recently hired.
It seems like
it's very arbitrary.
It seems like a bit of they're trying to, it's kind of CYA, like you have to put that in there to justify firing someone, even though the firing is really more about Scott's point than it is actually about this person's performance, which we will probably end up seeing in court at some point.
I want to go back to Jamal's point and respectfully disagree. You said, I don't think this is what the American people signed up for, but I think it's exactly what we signed up for. I don't know if any president in history spent this much time on holding accountability and efficiency to his own government. So the Department of Education has a $70 billion budget annually, yet we haven't seen any progress in the educational system over the last 4 years. We're ranked 13 in the world. We're like 24th in science, 18th in math. We're really not doing well on a global stage in terms of our education system performance. So I think evaluating, where is the $70 billion going? Where are we failing? And how do we make this better? I don't know if blind firings for probational employees is the right thing to do, but I think definitely investigating through DOGE why we are failing so badly in the DOE is absolutely the right move to do.
Somebody find this snow bunny for me. I see she has on a Jewish necklace. I have never seen. Now, who is this woman? Hoppo, who is this snow bunny? I'm not necessarily into snow bunnies. Emily Austin, sports host and political commentator. I'm not. Look at Scott. Scott is looking at Emily and saying, oh, wee, baby girl. Listen, when you see a guy that got a part like this, looking at a Emily like that with the tweed coat on, hold on, I got that same coat. Give me a second. I got that same coat. M. I got that same coat. You're not gonna outdo me. Hold on one second. I had to go to, I'm here on government business. So I'm not gonna let Scott outdo me. Nope. Now what? I'm here on, hold on, let me switch my watch. Who is this snow bunny? Who is this snow bunny that is walking around with all of this good knowledge, insight, understanding, and making all of this sense? Who is this snow bunny? And where did she come from? Yes, I do have that same. Yes, I do. Don't. So you think I'm just walking around? No, I walk around in the house like this. When I'm going out for government business, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. No, let me get 2 waters, lemon for her, still for me. Oh, you like spring? Don't worry about it, baby. Scott, you're not going to be looking at that woman and thinking that Umar Johnson and you got the only chance. That's my new baby mama, Emily. Talk that talk.
Getting through DOGE why we are failing so badly in the DOE is absolutely the right move to do.
In every government office I've ever seen, you can walk through the door, you can ask anybody who around here is not doing their job. They'll tell you. People will tell you who's not doing their job. You can get rid of those people. I don't know if anybody would complain, but it's the mass firings that says something else is afoot. It's not just what they're calling it.
I agree.
I think
there is something else afoot.
Yeah, I think that going off of what you were saying, Emily, with the budget, I think more than half of the budget goes to grants and loans for low-income students for them to be able to attend college, things like that. And so, but I do agree with your point that we need to be doing more on education. And so there needs to be some sort of reform. And I think that this has been something that conservatives have long wanted, is shrinking the Department of Education. So I support all of that in that regard. But where I have the issue is these firings, and what is the reasoning for them? Are these people being laid off because maybe they're anti-Trump and posted things on social media? Like, what is these people deserve a little bit more of an explanation then.
No, there's no mystery.
A vague email.
There's no mystery, and let me offer them an explanation. This administration would like to make the federal government smaller. We would like to spend less on payroll. You just got here, therefore you won't be working here anymore. It's pretty simple, and they shouldn't take it personally. But these guys got elected to shrink the government, and that's what they intend to do.
Scott,
And I'm with it. And I'm 100% with it. The federal government is not there to continue to subsidize people's lives. The federal government is supposed to be working efficiently. That's what we elected the Trump administration to do. And that is exactly what they are taking care of. Phenomenal show. I wish I had the clap thing. Phenomenal show today. Phenomenal audience. You guys are the greatest audience on earth. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you and the notification. If you are here for the first time, your like is just enough. That's enough. If you've been here more than once and you're not subscribed, that's an issue. We will be doing after hours tonight. And then also on top of that, make sure y'all go into after hours. If people are just trying to figure out what the channel is, you can click the Millionaire Morning Show on here. And if you go to my channel, you'll see after hours, Anton Daniels, all of that on there. Or you can just type after hours with Anton Daniels and it'll pop right up. We got after hours tonight. If you're not a part of the Patreon, you really need to join the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And on top of that, you guys are the greatest audience on earth. So again, I'd love if you guys subscribe. This is the greatest morning show on earth. Please send this to your friends and family because we can't do it without you. I am about to read the super chats. Spacer says, I can't tell if you're Russian, Spanish, or vampire. Anton went from Spanish to Russian to Muslim to Indian, back to Russian, now to German accents. No, sir, Jasmine Crockett is not my ideal woman. We would clash too much on our views. I'm too conservative in my mindset. These days, it wouldn't work. Y'all be wanting women to talk to y'all? Like to tell y'all what they think and stuff? Serge from Beverly Hills Cop voice. Spanish people call fat Spanish girls tortas. Jazz, don't be mad because you didn't have a project 2025. Pay that man his money. I don't trust that Magic Johnson look either. I really don't understand. Do you want to get paid to get let go, or do you want to get flat out fired? Pay me to leave and I'll make the adjustment. And then Magnetar says, y'all cool with parts now? Y'all just flame dude with the part on the top on the pop of the balloon the other night. We're going to talk about pop of the balloon the other day. All right, but we ain't going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it tomorrow night. Tonight, we got some issues that we need to address within the community. I want to say the Seeker of Truth is in the building. Thank you. The Seeker of Truth says supporting the show. I appreciate you. You are the greatest of all time. And Manifest Love said, this is the best morning show ever. And I believe you because I know I'm great at what it is that I do. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. Let me go ahead and take my jacket off because I've been out here doing the Lord's work in DC. You guys are my people. I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We never gonna miss them. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.